Pisces, this is your Valentine's Love Tarot reading. It's not time bound. I only do them once a year, so it's pretty fair to assume that it's got a long time scale. Maybe for a year. None of my readings are that straightforward, and certainly my love readings are rarely. But I have to say, this year, there have been many twists in them. A good many people have had a combination of low and high energies, which could impact on you in terms of high and low vibrations. What I would say to you is these are just energies. It's not a fortune telling. It's simply pointing out the energies that will impact on you. You have free will. The overall energy is a very positive one. It's a one of great joy and happiness. Bottom right hand corner, Ace of Pentacles, suggests that in the past new money came to you. Although money and love are very similar energies, was it a new love? Could well be. Your current energy is that of determination, a doggedness, but things are slow moving. Your future energy is working with others to create something. Is this connected to love? I'm not sure how, but maybe it is. The energy that leads to the outcome, and the outcome is a great outcome, is you getting disillusioned and walking away from things. So maybe I'm right about that new love and things don't go as planned and you need to walk away from it. What would prevent you from reaching this wonderful outcome is being betrayed, being stabbed in the back, a bitter end to it. Now, if we're talking of a relationship, what this suggests to me is that if you end the relationship, things will work out well for you. But if the other ends the relationship, they won't work out so well. And the outcome is the Wheel of Fortune. So it should signify good fortune for you. But also I think it's an end of a cycle. Well, I know it's an end of a cycle. Beginning of a new one. And I strongly suspect, given that middle card, the joy card as it were, the happiness, that you have learnt the lesson from this cycle. So a fascinating reading. Please stay with me, Pisces, as I try and unpack it. Now, the energy that runs throughout the entire reading is one of contentment, one of happiness, one of being grateful for what you have. What I do notice from this rendering, I mean, yes, it's a joyous card, but maybe you're by yourself. Is this a message that for right now you're better off by yourself and counting your blessings? Now, whenever I can, I mean, you know, I'm 65, and particularly female friends of around my age, a good many of them are now by themselves, and they always claim that it's a very positive thing that they've decided on this for themselves. And I always feel that there's something rather sad about it, but I wonder if that's the right interpretation, because it certainly doesn't seem to be for you. Now, what I would say is always at a moment in time. So whereas maybe, you know, if this is for a year, during this year you might be better off by yourself, but things do change, and often they change dramatically. Indeed, there is the element of change within this spread. Now, in the past, we have the energy of the Ace of Pentacles. Normally, I'd associate that with new wealth, I use the word wealth these days rather than money, because in this year there's certainly plans to do away with money in the shape or form that most of us would consider it to be money. Let's call it wealth. Nevertheless, wealth and love are very similar energies. And given that this is a love reading, I think it's more likely to be saying that a new love came into your life. And if you look slightly away from this rendering, as somebody pointed out to me a long time ago, it looks like a female body, doesn't it? So is it about love? I think it probably is. Current energy is that of the Knight of Pentacles. Very reliable knight, very determined knight, but terribly slow moving. So if we are talking about love here, and maybe the love that I believe is indicated in the last card, the past, this relationship is developing very slowly indeed. You are somewhat determined, and I think you're quite happy for it to be going slowly. Maybe they're also taking it slowly as well. So it's the exact opposite of me. I'm the Knight of Cups, and I just rush into things, led by my heart, but getting myself into trouble as a result of it. So I don't see this as a bad card, but you know, in the light of everything that I'm seeing in this, you may, oh no, there is the, no, it's going to, maybe it's no bad thing, let's just put it that way at the moment, this moment in time. Now in the future, we have the Three of Pentacles. It's normally about working together with others in a team to create a sort of synergy, to create something better than you could by yourself. You each have your specialisms, and you all contribute with your own specialisms. Now, given that this is a love reading, is this sort of saying that if you have a wide circle of friends, you will find love eventually, by not focusing on love, but focusing on friendship, focusing on doing things together? I think that's very likely. You know, that's how love comes the most unexpected times and the most unexpected ways. And I think this is just a reassurance to you that whatever goes on during this year, don't worry about it. It'll come. It'll come. Now, if you remembered, I said I thought that this new relationship was moving slowly, and maybe that was a good thing, not rushing things. Whether it's because it's moving slowly, or whether it's because it's moving slowly and therefore you realise something about this other person, but you get disillusioned and you walk away from it. And this leads to the outcome, which I think is a very good outcome. So I do see that, you know, even though this card may feel negative, I see it as a very positive card. You're walking away from this relationship, and you'll have learned something from the experience, and you'll be much better placed for the next time. So I do see this as the right thing to be doing. Now, as I say, that walking away does lead to what I see as a very good outcome. But if you don't walk away, then it's going to be done for you. Maybe this other person, this partner, sees things a bit like you. They have as many misgivings about you as you do about them. Maybe that's it. But if you don't walk away, they will bring an end to it. I think it'll feel bitter, it'll feel like being stabbed in the back. And there could be other repercussions for you. Maybe you lose some money as a result, or something like that. But it'll be a bitter ending if you don't choose to end it. And now the outcome. I think it's revealed what this reading is all about. And that it's to learn something about yourself. And I think you do. If supposing you don't walk away and we have this bitter ending, it's tempting to blame others, but I don't necessarily see this other as being the villain. I think it's just about knowing yourself. And certainly I think you'll end up believing that you can be happier by yourself. I'm not certain that's true, but, finding that you can find your own happiness and create your own happiness is a very, very positive outcome. What it is, it's a cycle, and it's a cycle that's ending and a new one beginning. And I do believe you learn the lesson from this cycle. So this was all very necessary. It might not feel like a great year for you, but it was necessary to release your own ability to make yourself happy. And you should get luck from it. So I think we can summarise for you now, Pisces. Pisces, what this love reading is all about is you learning from a cycle. There's a cycle closing and a new one opening, and I believe you do learn from it. And the lesson is that you don't need to be with somebody to be happy. In fact, it's suggesting that if you have a wide circle of friends and just enjoy life, you will find happiness. I think you'll find a partner through doing that, but I think you conclude at the end of this year or cycle that you can be happy by yourself, and that's no bad thing. But I think as a result of that, you will find somebody eventually. It started off, well, in the past, I think you found a partner, a new partner. And the truth is that relationship is moving very slowly. I'm not sure if it's just the fact that it's moving very slowly, or you both have doubts about each other. And even if you have doubts about each other, I'm not too certain you should blame them or them blame you. It's about maybe both of you finding out about yourselves and what makes you happy and what you really want. So yeah, the relationship is going very slowly, and maybe as a result of that, or maybe you really do have doubts. But as I say, don't blame others. The doubts are as much doubts about you as they are about others, I think, anyway. But you end up walking away from it, and that's a very positive thing to do. Very positive, because it means you've learnt the lesson from this cycle and are approaching a new cycle. And we're at a time of unprecedented change at the moment, and these cycles will keep occurring. If, however, you don't take the initiative, I think they will. And it will come as a shock to you, because you would have been preoccupied with your own feelings, and they pull a plug on a relationship, even though you were thinking of doing it. And it might make you feel bitter. I think it does. I think you don't learn the lessons if this happens. In fact, you probably even feel that you're stabbed in the back. But if you reflect on it, they've only done the same as probably you were going to do. So it's a lesson. It's a lesson learned. And I think it's as much a lesson about what makes you happy as it is a lesson about love.